9 years and 8 months. That's how long Ladarius Berry was held at the Shelby County Jail following a 2015 party bus shooting.
He's still waiting on them to do his time because 201 still haven't did the paperwork on him yet.
Helen, Ladarius' sister, says she has been fighting to understand why her brother was held at 201 Poplar for nearly a decade.
All summer long, I think I started going down there in March of this year to see why he haven't been moved out. They was telling me they didn't have any beds. That's the reason why he haven't moved.
Berry said at least 10 more people were in his pod at the jail, also waiting to be picked up by TDOC officials. ABC 24 found nearly a dozen people in jail from 2015 to 2018 with cases closed and sentenced. The former Shelby County sheriff said if this happens, there's a problem.
We call them. We are in conversations and communication with them quite often, letting them know who's ready to be picked up. Now, we don't really know what happens on the backside of that in terms of how much spacing they have, when they're going to come and get them, how many they're going to come and get. This week, I think they got about 4 or 5 inmates. They picked up about 4 or 5 inmates from us, but we don't control that piece of it. Now, the sheriff did reach out roughly about a month ago. We had about 150 inmates then, and we asked the state to get about 65 of them. And so we were hoping at that time that we would have been successful in getting 65 inmates moved out of our jail to the state penitentiary.
Shelby County Chief Deputy Anthony Buckner says the department has been trying to figure out why such a disconnect is happening in the system.
The bigger problem that sometimes concerns me is how it can impact getting our first responders back on the streets. So when you talk about 140 inmates, you're roughly talking about maybe 3 or 4 pods of inmates that could be freed up. It has to add up. Those are local tax dollars that are impacted. So I gave you the number of $100 per day on average to house an inmate. But if that inmate requires some type of medical service, if they go to the hospital, obviously those prices increase. And again, we absorb those prices. So I think if we can get those inmates moved out, that saves our local dollars. But I will say this, we have been in conversation with a few of our state legislators to see if maybe they can make phone calls or add some level of pressure regarding this particular issue. This is a state issue. All we can do right now is make the phone calls and raise the alarm on the issue. We need the available space. We're seeing a lot of inmates come into our jail. Maybe 3 or 4 months ago, we were seeing an average population of about 2,100 inmates. Now we're hovering consistently above 2,500 inmates.
For families like Berry's who have made calls, sought legal counsel, and are still getting the runaround about paperwork, his sister says it's heartbreaking to still be in the same place as where she started.
It's still at a standstill. That's why he's trying to get me to work on some more stuff and call them and see have everything been released or have they did his paperwork from 201 to release it to where he's at now.
We've always been in a position where we had state inmates here for various reasons, whether a judge wanted them back, for some type of case or trial. But nevertheless, to this degree, I don't recall the numbers being quite as high as they are now. And again, I don't know if that's because the state are at capacity and they're trying to look for space. Not certain exactly what's occurring on that end of it, but I can only tell you on this end what the impact is. So that inmate population is growing. And so when we get to 2,800 or 2,700, depending on the security levels of those inmates, we're going to have an occupancy issue or a capacity issue. And so we're going to have to get into our contingency plan. So, we're going to continue to have those dialogue, having conversation with the state to see if they will increase the number of inmates that they pick, whether it's monthly or weekly pick up.